All right, Adam, you're on with talk.
Hey Rick, you said something last night along the lines the Penguins made the moments more than us the last two games. Has this been a case of your players maybe letting the moment get too big for them, and that's sort of what led to some of the uncharacteristic mistakes the last two games?
There might be a little bit to that. You know, to get experience, you have to go through things. And last couple of games, some stuff was from an experience not been there before. To be honest, I can feel that a little bit. But saying that, you know, we're going into game six. They've we've played playoff hockey for the last 6, 7 weeks. So, you're looking for a bounce back in the experience part. Like you just played a game where, yeah, I got to get the puck out. I should have done this. On the forecheck, we're late. I got to be ready. So I think you can learn from these things and get experience. So I know it's a short window of experience, but I think you can learn and get more experience just by even those last two games. And they've all been close games. It's just that the Penguins have played better than us in those two games.
All right, Jordan, you're on.
Hey Rick, I'm not sure if maybe the long layoff from the injury has caught up to Tyson Forester at
Yeah.
all. But I'm just wondering if there was maybe any concern level about trying to get him going offensively in this series.
Yeah, of course. I mean, he's a really good hockey player. We're trying to stick with him. It's just not him. I mean, we got some other guys there that we need a little bit more from. But it is tough, hitting the wall to be able to play at that pace and all that sort of stuff. Maybe it's hit the wall a little bit, but 24 hours or 36 hours off, resetting your brain, all that stuff can do wonders for a guy. And usually guys like that, they find their way. So we're not giving up on Tyson. He's too good of a hockey player.
Jackie, you're up.
Hey Rick, I was just curious. You mentioned a little bit last night about maybe some mental lapses like
Yeah,
on the line change for the first goal.
yeah.
And you just mentioned also, you've been playing playoff style hockey for 6 weeks now. Do you think it's kind of catching up with them? Because that's a lot of a grind, a lot of a wear and tear on guys. Do you think it's kind of catching up with playing under that stress level for so long now?
Yeah, I think when you haven't been through it, what are the expectations? It's a good question because you got to build that scar tissue. But I always call it that you have another reserve tank in you. Like, there's more in there for some guys. There, we got to, I call it break the seal. And I just felt the last two games we were a little bit too comfortable. We weren't finishing checks like we did. We weren't getting open for the guy. The fundamentals have been a little bit iffy, and but it's hard to do. Like it's a very hard thing to do, grind every day. And we're getting a baptism into it, like a quick one, which is great because we're getting guys in the experience early than maybe people expected. So saying that, you got to go into this game knowing it's going to be hard, really hard, and you're going to be very uncomfortable in situations. But learn from the last game. Hey, I had the same play. It should have been an indirect play to get the puck out safely instead of throwing it off the middle. Things like that, you should be processing the next that play in your head as you play the next game. That's how you get mental reps and physical reps and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, no, it's something that I don't want to say the grind's getting to us because we should welcome the grind. It's all part of playoff hockey is that grind. To embrace it.
Go ahead with the follow-up, Jackie.
Yeah, I was just curious of your opinion on Travis Konechny. It looked like he really stepped up his game, especially in that third period. And he's done this, in the past where he kind of turns it up and seems to be carrying the team a little bit. Did you see that from him also last night? And how do you maybe get him going earlier in games then?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I thought there's about four or five guys that we need more for. I thought Travis another guy we need a little more for, to be quite honestly. Just the fundamentals, not just for him. There's four or five guys that they want to score or they want to do something so bad they forget about the process of it. So that's something we're gonna have to talk about going into the next game.
Kevin, you're up.
Yeah, Rick, I know you put Emil Andre in the lineup for the last game. How do you think he looked? And would you ever consider putting Oliver Bonk? Would he ever be an option for you, or would that take some extenuating circumstances?
Well, I'm not going to lie to you. It is in the discussion to maybe put him in. So that's something that we're going to spend some time here at the rink and figure that out. Sometimes when you put a kid like that in, when they don't even think about it, that's a good thing too. But then sometimes, you want to make sure a young guy can succeed too. So we'll talk about that. It's a good question, but we have discussed it.
Bill, you're on.
Hi, Rick. So after game 4, you had talked about, coming out with a little bit more energy. It looked like last night you actually had a really good energy early in the game. The forecheck was on target, getting a lot of shot opportunities and actually shot attempts until Pittsburgh scored that first goal off the turnover and the battle behind the net. Do you think the team maybe got away from that a little bit for a while last night?
Yeah, well, yeah, a little bit. I think it's really important whether you're down a goal or up a goal. You got to kind of play this. You got to stay to your game. There can't be a panic either way. I felt sometimes when we had the puck, instead of grabbing ice, coming back with speed, going through the neutral zone, and we made a couple of nice plays. Trevor's breakaway, if you look, it was 3 or 4 passes before he got the breakaway. That's what we got to start to look for, that kind of play, instead of just flipping it out. And we get in that mode sometimes. And, we got to get in the mode of wanting to make the play and the guy without the puck wanting the puck. I think that's something that we can get better at. There's definitely 10 or 15% better at that, which will help our overall game.
All right. Any last questions? All right. Thanks, Coach.
Okay,
Sorry. Adam's got a follow up.
Well, sure. No
Sorry
problem.
about that.
Yeah, Todd, just kind of going back to what you said as far as guys flipping it in too much. Is it something Pittsburgh has changed in their structure, either in the neutral zone or on their forecheck, that has forced your guys, has taken away kind of the lanes that were there early in the series that you guys aren't getting or aren't seeing now?
They've adjusted. I got to give their staff and their players credit. Yeah, but there's some stuff there we're not doing that we can expose them, and I'm not going to get into that part. But there's a lot of skating and wanting the puck. There's got to be a little bit more want and determination, and you'll get those pucks. I don't think, me personally, it's an X and O's. It's a determination on some of these plays to want that puck. I think we can get better at.
All right. Thanks, Coach. And thanks all for joining.